Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, worshippers of all ages, welcome to YouTube. My name is SeaRaptor. Today we're bringing you another battle report from the Japanese cruiser line. Today we are on the bridge of Tier 7 cruiser Myoko. Now, if you watched the earlier replay on Alba, I got to be pretty aggressive. I got to be kind of a pushy kind of cruiser. I had a bunch of barrels up forward, but Myoko is a little different animal, especially on a standard battle as we spawn here on the north side of Fault Line. So the trick here is that, let's talk about first some of the differences between Alba and Myoko. Of course, the biggest difference is Myoko has a lot more guns, right? Alba brings 6 of the 203mm guns into the game. Myoko brings 10. Now, the trick is that Miyoko's forward turrets, she has the 2 super firing turrets that are very easy to use up front, but that third turret on the bow is very awkward. It has somewhat less than ideal firing angles, and when it turns, the guns have to face back towards the bridge to flip around. So it behaves like her stern turrets. It moves in conjunction with her stern turrets. It takes some getting used to, and you might as well get used to it, because this is not the last Japanese cruiser you're going to play with this particular gun configuration. I have to apologize for this replay. I played this game with quite a bit of lag, and that lag translates into the replay. In a couple of places, you're going to see some stutter and some stopping, and it's just a factor of what I was dealing with when I played the game, so I apologize for that. Anyways, so again, Myoko bringing a lot of barrels into the game, bringing 10 barrels in. She still maintains the 2 racks of torpedoes that have kind of stern-ish angles. But beyond that, the way you play these ships remains, in my opinion, very, very similar. But you've seen me do battle reports on Myoko before. You've seen some of the replays possibly around the channel. I talk a lot about how these ships are really great for kiting. But in a standard game like this, I tend to, like I always do, I start out very slow. I want to see how the enemy's deploying. So as we push over towards the 1-2 line here, I know there's a Moss over there on the 3 line as he cut to the inside. I was waiting for the Shinonome to maybe get more eyes on him, but it looks like he's out of spotting range. And I know there's a Legalitionnaire up in front of me. It appears, if you look at the mini-map, you can see some of the battleships kind of maneuvering like they're going to be in this direction. But they're not here yet. For the moment, it's just me and this Legal. And a light cruiser is something that I am not afraid of. You see me there? I'm checking. I put up my torpedo indicator to kind of check his movements. With the lock on, I'm able to do that. And then I swap to the AP because he's creeping around this island. He's just about to come around the corner. Looks like he's moving maybe about half speed, so I don't hardly have to lead him at all. As we put some of this big 8-inch AP downrange with a beautiful, basically flat broadside on this cruiser. And yeah, a couple of sits, 10,000 damage, a really good solid hit early on this guy. He's going to get some of his back here in a minute because I don't switch to the HE. I keep the AP loaded and he starts turning out, which is unfortunate for me. I'm not going to get much out of this AP salvo. But I go back to the HE now because, well, I mean, my HE's going to do pretty good things to this guy. Now, you see there, I got one of my turrets knocked out by his 6-inch high explosive shells. One of the recurring problems that you're going to deal with as you play these Japanese cruisers through the mid-tiers, literally from Furutaka all the way up through Ibuki, the glacis plates on the turrets is only 25mm. You're going to deal with a lot of turret incapacitations. Almost enough to make you want to consider taking preventive maintenance on top of main armament modification 1. If you're paying attention to a few seconds ago, I got a fire on that Galicianaire, and we know because I knocked out his engine with the AP salvo, that fire's going to stick for a little while, so we're getting some more good damage into him. But he's got some backup now. He's got a Myoko. The Moss is coming back. So I decide discretion is a better part of valor. I put some speed on, and I back off a bit and let this Scharnhorst kind of move up and be a bit of a bully on these cruisers. But if the Moss is coming back this way, he obviously seems to think that he's going to be able to do mean things to my friendly Shinonome up in front of me, and I'm not going to have any of that. I'm blind firing these torpedoes downrange. I have no idea where the Moss is. I'm simply putting them out there because it's an obstacle he has to deal with at some point as he maneuvers, if he continues maneuvering this direction. As yes, we see here that he has. Now, he thinks he's going to get up here and bully the Shinonome, and in a one-on-one fight, he would. But this fight is not one-on-one. I'm here, the Scharnhorst is here, the Nagato is here. There's a lot of help, and the Shinonome, his help is much farther away. You see me there? I got one good 3K salvo into him there. I've got another one going down range right now. Another 3K with a fire, 2 ticks of fire, and he's out. For kill number 1. Now, the Myoko has gotten brave. He's got some battleship backup now. There's a Scharnhorst and a Duke of York down there to go with the Myoko and the Galicianair. But I've still got my spotter. My Shinanomi is still spotting for me over on the one line. There's no reason for me to stick my ship out there to get shot at. I'm going to sit here with this island in front of me and shoot over it, lob shells at these guys as they continue to push into my range bubble. Because, hey, free damage. Shinanomi's out there doing his job. I'm going to do mine. Pretty good salvo there on the Myoko. 6,500 plus a fire. He puts the fire out right away as I switch over to the Bayern. I'm really here to kind of farm some HE damage off these battleships because that's something that these ships do really, really well. I'm reversing now because I'm kind of trying to play a little cheeky here, but I also don't realize quite in time that this Myoko is actually far enough around the island that when I pull the trigger, he will actually spot me. So he immediately picks me up, and I'm sure one of his battleship buddies picks me up as I decide, well, I got to get back into cover. Let's move up again as we do manage to bag a fire there on the Bayern with that kind of shot over the island. I'm going to keep taking shots over the island. I'm going to lose some of those shells into the island closest to me, but they're going to go over the one in the distance. As I notice the Haida in the middle of the map going up against our Moss, and I'm like, I feel like I should get over there and help him out. And yet, oh, look at these juicy battleships to farm. I really want to slow this push down. I'm kind of taking my sweet time about it. I keep looking over there, thinking if I can get my guns around for a shot, I'll take it. And I do start putting on some speed here as the Bayern kind of creeps around this island. I can actually see him now. Continue to put these shells downrange on him as I push up for speed and decide, all right, it's time to go help the Moss. Moss is not coming out well in this engagement. Let's go pitch in with my guns here. Now, as I zoom in here on the Haida, one of the first things I notice is, whoa, this dude is burning. He's got a bow fire and an amidships fire, clearly from his duel with the Moss, as I put some shells downrange. I led those, and he turns out, but I do manage to land a few of them. I get his rudder and another fire. Look at that dude as those shells clear. That is one crispy Haida, kids. He's on 3 fires. He does manage to get away as I turn my guns back to the Bayern and this battleship push kind of crawling up the one line. As I'd slow back down. I've got a little bit of cover here. The Scharnhorst, actually, I'd be out of the Scharnhorst range. If I were to have taken that shot at the Bayern, the Scharnhorst wouldn't have seen me because he's not inside my gun range. And I do eventually turn my guns back. And I think I take at least 1 pot shot, if not 2, at this Bayern as he starts to push up. Yeah, here we go. But by this time, I've looked at the minimap and realized my team on the 8-9 line really needs some help. Kind of already moving in that direction. And so I'm still throwing shots over here. I've already decided that I'm going to go help them out. That's the last salvo I'm going to get off on the Bayern as I turn my guns forward to start dealing with the Scharnhorst, the Nelson, and what destroyer is that? Ah, it's an Aigle, kind of climbing up the 7-8 line. Now, our friendly Scharnhorst up there has been doing a really good job of kiting. I mean, he's down quite a bit of HP, but he's still there. He's still fighting. He's in the fight. He's putting his torpedoes downrange. He is making an impact, even though his ship is rapidly getting shot to pieces. A minute ago, this Nelson was on 3,000 HP. We can see now he's got a lot more than that, but I also know how squishy that dude is. So I absolutely take a pot shot there, hoping to get a fire and some pens. And by the time those land, we'll be up 2 more ships. I do get 6 pens for 8k plus a fire, as the Shinanomi wins his gunfight against a very, very badly wounded Haida. Now, that's not something you would ordinarily hear me say. A Haida should crush a Shinanomi in a gunfight, but that Haida was just beat up, and the Shinanomi's guns worked perfectly well, and he won that one. Flip our guns back to the Nelson here, who's continuing to creep up. Of course, he's got islands between me and him. I can't do anything here. I might be able to get shells over, but I'm kind of having to guess at the lead and kind of where his hull is, where the range is. Just about to that, I can get a few shells over now, so we'll take the shot and see what we can do, but then he disappears. Wang He loses him in smoke or something like this. The Aigle, however, has appeared on the Huang's sonar. I can see him just starting to turn his engine on. I lead him just a smidge, but I'm convinced this salvo is going to miss him, and yet it surprises me. A couple or 3 shells go in, and we bag the French destroyer for kill number 2. Now, I'm trying to do the same thing here to this Nelson. It would be really awesome if I could get these shells on target, and I do land a few of them for about 1,300, but it's not enough to get the killing blow, as that does indeed go to the Huang. Well, cruiser power on this side of the map. Friendly Legalitionnaire, Huang He, and myself are victorious against this battleship push up the 7-8 line. Did cost us a friendly Scharnhorst, but seems like a decent trade, as this Graf Spee decides he's going to try and bully us. Now, I'm not going to lie, kids. There are some ships in this game that, in a Graf Spee, I mean, if I'm fighting against a Graf Spee, I'm maybe a little cautious. I'm a little, ooh, this is a bad fight for me. Myoko is not one of those ships. I can do horrible things to him with my AP. I can light him on fire all day long, and because he's one of the heavy cruisers, his fires burn extra long. You see there, the first salvo, I got a double fire. That salvo, I got another one. That one there, that bow fire is going to stick. So I'm just going to keep throwing HE at this guy. Now, I had the AP loaded. See, I expected him to turn out, but he doesn't. So I'm sitting here with AP in my barrels like, come on, turn, come on, turn, come on, turn. And it's just not, it's not happening. It's not happening. Why are you not turning? What's going on? Okay, you're just starting to edge out, so I'll fire these and maybe get something out of them. And no, not really. Lots of ricochets there. And in the end, though he has his sonar up, you see there I am lit on sonar, the Huang He is going to bag himself a super cruiser as well. And so now, with only 11 minutes and change gone in the game, we are up 6 ships. We have 10 kills to our credit. That team just fell apart in a real hurry. I haven't even been paying attention to what was going on over on the 1-2 line, but you can look and you can very clearly see that our battleship force over there has come out far, far better than theirs has. The Duke of York and the Scharnhorst are all that's left over there. The Myoko has folded. And of course, we watched the hide in the middle of the map die. We killed everything over here. So it's just literally those 2 battleships left, as they do manage to claw back a kill by snagging, picking off our friendly Trento. Pretty much the only thing I can do now is cut through the center of the map. Not really much point in showing you guys this, so we'll skip ahead a bit here. Let's skip ahead until we're just about ready to... Yep, okay, so here we go. So as the Duke of York starts to edge into range, I'm debating myself. He's running away from me, and so I'm debating, do I take the shot? He's at really long range. I need to get him inside my range bubble, or these shells are still going to fall astern of him. And I don't want to reveal my position, still a squishy cruiser, without having an idea that these are going to land. But now, he's a kilometer, almost a kilometer inside my range bubble, and he's turning. I'm willing to take that shot. And I'm only getting my front barrels off, because I've only got 4 forward barrels. That third turret on the bow cannot fire straight over the bow. So, I've only got these couple of turrets to throw at him right now, and that's fine, because my main goal is to get up here and try and get into the cap, force these guys back, give some cover to the Shinonome, who's doing a great job. Look at that, I landed all 4 shells at this range. And just help the Shinonome do his job, which is, at this point, he's trying to cap out this game. Now you can see on the targeting reticle, the Duke of York, somebody had me lit. Not sure exactly. Could be the Sharn. We do manage to get a fire that he immediately repairs. And I kind of expect him to turn back to port, so I lead those shots down his port side, but nope. He continues that turn to starboard, which is a bit of a surprise to me. I do go ahead and edge into the cap circle here, figuring at this point, if nothing else, I'm putting pressure on them. At the same time, this is a bit of a risk. I'm also giving them incentive to shoot at me, like this Scharnhorst, who has just dumped a salvo at me. He's not going to get much out of it because I pulled the brakes and cut my throttle, but you know he didn't know that till after he'd fired. His next salvo probably won't make the same mistake. Both of these battleships looking at me now. Duke of York coming in with some HE shells, but meh. I'm not super concerned about his HE. But you can see now, my detection is 11.4-ish, I think. And at 11.8, they can't spot me. They no longer have the ability to see me. So now I'm just racking up cap points as I start to reverse. Me, the Huang, and the Shinonome are all in here, racking up cap points and just making general nuisance of ourselves. So if they want to stop this cap, they're going to have to fight. The Scharnhorst hasn't realized this yet, but the Duke of York absolutely has. You can see him. He's already turned back north at flank speed, trying to get back into the fight. He is going to pick me up. He's going to hard spot me right there at 11.4. So with being lit, there's absolutely no reason to not fire my guns. So to heck with it. Let's get this done. Put some more shells down. Ryan's trying to get some more fires on him. Don't get a fire, but 6,500. Great full pin damage out of those shells. Out of those HE shells on that guy. So now, with the smoke here, right? If you see, the Shinonome has decided to smoke. Now I've been afforded the opportunity to move up and put the smoke in between me and these battleships. So that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm angling in. I'm giving my bow to the Scharnhorst, who to me is a bigger threat right now. The Duke of York's reload speed is slow enough that I'm not overly concerned about him. But the Scharnhorst reloads quick enough that I got to stay frosty of that guy. Just about to where all I have to do is break line of sight with the Duke of York. And once I do that, the Scharnhorst will not be able to spot me. And right there. Right there. So now I'm using the smoke to break line of sight and just sit in the cap circle, basically unmolested while I farm these guys for damage. Remember, guys, one of the best things you can do for yourself is to understand and learn how smoke works in this game. Knowing how to use friendly smoke, and if you ever play Destroyer, knowing how to use your own smoke is crucial. Scharnhorst, realizing the game that's being played now, decides to hell with it. I'm going to charge in here and get this over with. But he's running out of time. Our capping is down to 10 seconds now. As I put one more salvo down range on him. But I just don't think he's going to get the resets in. I grab a couple of fires right there at the end as time ticks away, and we pick up the win and the cap. Now, I spent a lot of time on stream kvetching about how many bottom-tier games I played in Myoko. I went back through my records. This is the only top-tier game I played as Myoko when I re-leveled this ship. I believe this was about my second or third game in the ship. And you can see when she's top-tier, she matches up just super well with all the kinds of ships you're going to see. The HE shells wreck destroyers. The AP shells do horrible things to most cruisers, even super cruisers like Graf Spee. And the fires and everything you can light on battleships just are super annoying. She's just a really, really, really good ship. And I love playing the ship, especially when she's top tier. When she's bottom tier, she's a lot more challenging. But that is for another time. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed that one. Thanks for watching. Be safe out there, and I'll catch you next time.